Hey Vikings, Achilles here. Today we're going to be talking about the equipment portion of the July update. There's quite a lot that happened in this update. I'm going to get into some of the other portions on a subsequent video, but for this one we're just going to be looking at the new gear. So if you haven't noticed, there are a number of new sets available from the Stronghold to unlock and make. There's a set for each of the troop types, including scouts, as well as one for capturing the place of power. We're going to mostly just look at Halfdans Crown for this video and just kind of use it as a baseline. So let's take a look at how the stats kind of progress as you increase or as you get better and better gear. So the standard gear, this is kind of the best helmet you would go with. It's got 36% total health. It has melee offense, which is helpful but not really that great. Which is actually probably the best helm, regardless of whether you use melee or not. But anyways, jumping between that and the first invader set that people typically get, which is troop offense or troop stats during an attack. And so we're looking at 36% health versus 24% of each of the three stats. So it's a pretty decent jump in terms of power here. In that health is typically a lot better than the other stats. It's not as big of a jump as it looks, but it's still a decent jump. Now if we look at Olaf's helm, which would be the next stage for a melee user, you have 24 to 24, 24 to 28, so you get a 4% boost there and a 6% boost here. So it's not really a big jump. March speed is helpful. Typically you're boosting your troops in anyways though, so it's not going to make that big of a difference. Now the full set will be nice, but really what you're doing there is you're saving yourself money on march speed boosters versus actual combat strength. So going from invader to stronghold gear, while it definitely helps, especially early on a server, it's not really that big of a difference. Now once we look at the new set, that kind of changes a little bit. Much bigger jumps here. So 6%, 7%, 10% on health no less, and then 5% march speed. So this is a pretty big difference, and it's going to mean that if you're wanting to play at a higher level, you're going to have to make this and all the other pieces. Now they also added the helmet for capturing the place of power and guarding the place of power. Now this is kind of a sneaky thing they did here with this. So just to look, this is double the offense, almost double the defense, and 10% bonus on health. And then it doesn't have the march speed, which is negligible in terms of actually hitting. So in terms of capturing the place of power, you kind of need this piece or this set if you're on a server where you're fighting between each other a lot or vying for that place of power. And also if you're during KVK and CVC, if your opponent holds the place of power, this is going to make a huge difference in terms of your ability to take the or to clear the enemy's place of power. Now they also tacked on the troop health guarding the place of power. So 55% is nice, but it's not really enough to make up for. So it's 15% more health than you would have over here, but you lose 65% stats from these two things. Now health is worth more, but it's not worth that much more. So there's no set specifically for defending the place of power. So what that means is that it's going to be for the higher end players that have actually built their sets, it's going to be easier to clear the place of power than it is to hold it. that's going to be more troops dead or less people actually holding the place of power, which means less speed ups and greater cost of actually increasing your character's strength. Not super happy about how they have this set up, but it is what it is. So then let's take a look at what you need to get your Halfdans Crown. So we've got Halfdans Crown right here. Aside from the unlock materials, which are not that crazy, you need 4 pieces of Stronghold gear. I was expecting them to make the next set of hero gear expensive. I didn't really expect them to go this hard with it. But if we zoom out here, so you need 4 pieces, and then each one of those pieces is going to take 2 pieces. Typically an invader piece and a non-invader piece. So in total you're making 8 pieces here, and then 4 here, and then 1 here. Just the honest, I didn't really look at the silver cost, but okay, silver isn't going to be that crazy. You're probably looking at about 100 million silver to get up to this point. I'm not sure what the actual, 86. So you're going to be needing about 186 million silver, which is not that crazy. If you're actually getting here, you're probably not going to really notice that. But the actual item costs are pretty high. I took this one as kind of a baseline and figured out what that was. So it's 22 legendary invader materials and 10 standard in order to make each of, or in order to make the Halfdans Crown. So if there's 6 pieces of equipment per set, there's 5 slots, and then the last slot, amulets, you have to make 2 of them. You can multiply these 2 numbers by 6, so you need 132 invader pieces and 60 in order to make your full set of new Stronghold gear. And if you're going to be one of the top players, you're going to need a set for your main combat class. So for me, that would be melee. You're going to need a set for scouts, and you're going to need a set for hitting the place of power. So that's 3 sets you really need. 396 invader items, 180 standard pieces, which is just completely absurd. This last patch has pushed the game really, really far into the pay-to-win category, and I'm really not happy about it, as I'm sure you aren't either. But that's kind of where we're looking at the gear being now. Now, obviously, the crown may not be a perfect representative of how many items you need for each of the pieces, but I didn't want to go through and dig this out for each of the individual pieces on the 18 that I would need. So I just kind of took what it had, and yeah, so maybe a little bit different, but that's kind of a general what to expect. Curious what you guys think about this new gear setup, whether you're happy or sad that they're adding more to do with your hero. Let me know in those comments down below. If you have any questions, put them there too. If you liked this video or found it interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. We'll see you all soon.